You're listening to Keeping Up with the Knights, a podcast for the faculty and staff at Steele High School, allowing them to connect outside of the classroom. Teacher, coach, mentor, and speaker Michael Herrera, a past District Teacher of the Year, will sit down with fellow teachers and bring their stories to life. Sit back, relax, and enjoy these stories as they unfold on this episode of Keeping Up with the Knights.
Hi everyone, I'm Michael Herrera. I've spent the last 14 years in public education at Steele High School as a teacher and coach trying to make sense of my why and what makes Steele such a great place to be. At the end of the day, I want to know that after I leave the halls of education, that I not only made a difference in the students' lives, but I did or said something that impacted another teacher as well. In 2016, I earned the honors of being named High School Teacher of the Year, as well as District Secondary Teacher of the Year. With this, I started looking at education from a different lens. What am I going to do that makes a difference? What are others doing that I'm not doing that allows them to have connections to students that I can learn from? So shortly after I started dipping my toes into public speaking and have now spoken to different schools, districts, and at professional development conferences, I have come to the realization that everyone has a story to tell. In the spring, we were all hit with COVID-19 and the impact that would have not only on our educational careers, but on our families and friends as well. We all came to the realization that technology would be a critical component of education that some of us have been missing or avoiding, but yet some of us have quickly found and emerged ourselves in. Through Zoom and social media conferencing, it has opened my eyes to a different world of connection that would have not normally taken place otherwise. On our campus, I know that many of you develop and maintain strong relationships with students that has a huge impact not only on their life, but on their academic success as well. But this also got me thinking, if we focus primarily on developing relationships with students, what are we doing as a faculty to build our own relationship and connection outside of the classroom with other teachers? Ultimately, the goal, in my opinion, is to get students to become masters of life in conjunction with mastering content. With that said, we cannot do this alone. This is where the idea came from. If we can learn about each other's story and what makes them wake up and come to work every day, we can then work together and collaborate to ensure that we assist students in mastering life and content. What one teacher can do for a student, another teacher might not be able to. But if we come together and work towards the same goal, we can effectively reach every kid, not alone, but together. There are other schools and other districts of all sorts, both private and public, that use certain models that focus on staff cohesiveness by focusing on staff and faculty relationships, by putting it at the forefront. Let's be honest here. We are creatures of habit. And when we wake up in the morning, we all have a routine from the time that we wake up to the time that we walk into our classrooms. Once we are in our classroom, we tend to be by ourselves and continue to repeat what we did the day before in terms of our repetitious daily habits. When do we make time to connect outside of the classroom? When do we take time to get to know that teacher that's right down the hall from you, that you know their face, but you can't even say their first and last name? When do we reach out to another teacher from another department that we don't even really know, but we know that they were born and raised in the military and can connect to that specific type of student better than I can? This is precisely why I created this podcast. I created this podcast so that we can connect outside of the classroom. It is through these untold stories that I hope that you can connect to and learn from, so that if and when you are needing assistance, you know who you can lean on. So if you're an educator on this campus who at times may feel alone or who wants to learn and grow professionally, will you do me a favor and hit the subscribe button on the YouTube channel or iTunes podcast and join me with other fellow Knights as we share our stories? Thanks for listening to this trailer episode of Keeping Up with the Knights.